Before I start, I want to ask a question. How many of you are on social media? Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter? How many of you have these platforms on your phones? How many of you check these the first thing in the morning? We all do. We've moved into an age of digital media and social media, and we moved away from orthodox traditional media. We don't need to wait for the 8 p.m. news headlines to find out what's happening around the world. We have the news at the touch of our hands. You know, no matter where or what's happening around the world, within minutes, if not seconds, we know and we see on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever platform we're using. And we use these to stay connected and updated. And we're really moving towards, you know, a very global world and age. And that's given rise to a lot of viral trends, and we see a lot of things surfacing on the internet. The best example is the mannequin challenge. I think almost every person that I know was either part of one or was posting a version of their mannequin challenge. You know, different students, companies, no matter what age, generally millennials, but everyone was posting these mannequin challenges, and it was so viral, getting millions and millions of views. Everyone wanted to be part of it, and that's the beauty of viral trends. Again, this is an example of a mannequin challenge that was done in Bangalore in India as a reaction to an assault that happened. They worded it and made their version of it to create social awareness. And I think that's just an example of how we use social media to raise awareness. We're sort of social media justice warriors. You know, we have an opinion, we want to validate it, and we want to share it with our online community. And it's a ripple effect. What we share to people we know, they share to people they know, and it goes on and on and on. I joined a company that is changing the narrative of millennial women around the world. A lot of times when I would watch different perspectives or takes on news and headlines, I felt like my narrative wasn't being explained and I couldn't relate to any of those. So when I joined this company and I understood how important it was to be able to express what you feel and to reach out to minority groups and women and, you know, diverse women, to be specific. A lot of articles we get evoke a lot of strong emotions, a lot of them in favor of for people who support and can relate to them, and a lot of those against them if they don't relate to it. And I knew that was very important until I had a personal experience with it. But I'm going to get to that part in a little bit. This is Leslie Jones, and she was in the female version of Ghostbusters. She got a lot of hate on Twitter and a lot of flashback. And it got so bad, and it got to the point where she had to shut down her Twitter account because there were people creating fake profiles, they were tweeting things, and it was becoming viral. People were literally just using her name, and it was horrible. And I thought, you know, she's a celebrity. I think they're used to getting sort of flashbacks, and we've seen so many different examples over time of this. But it wasn't until a friend of mine tweeted something that I understood what it truly meant. Last summer, my friend Layla posted a tweet saying 9/11 changed the world for good. This tweet was taken and screenshotted, and they changed headlines. Within 24 hours, her life changed. People took this tweet and changed and had the most absurd claims you could think of. And within 24 hours, she was getting millions of tweets with death threats, with hate, with horrible, horrible graphic images, and she couldn't understand. At that time, she didn't realize what people had misinterpreted her tweet for and changed it to absurd claims. So many different websites for clicks and, you know, using clickbaity titles changed that title and wrote the most absurd things. For example, that Obama had hired her and that, you know, she was supporting a lot of horrible things that she wasn't. And she was getting harassed online. And it was horrible. And no matter what you did, it took a lot of strength to be able to get through that. And that was my first encounter with just how horrible and impactful social media can get. It got to the point where Snopes posted an entry verifying that whatever she had said and the actual context, and, you know, disregarding all the claims and the horrible accusations that were being forced on her. For good. She meant forever, permanently. But this was misinterpreted, and people were taking out various, I mean, just because of her ethnicity, her religion, and just using it out of context. A similar incident happened with me. The Women's March happened around the world a couple of weeks back, and we had a lot of different writers write about this, and we had an article on it. Shortly after, the co-chair of the Women's March, Linda Sarsour, became an attack. She was harassed online, and there were a lot of different, again, false accusations about her and about what she was supporting. She got harassed online, and thanks to her online community of friends and family, she was still able to get through it. I actually tweeted in support of her too, based on one of the articles on the Tempest, and I was not expecting the lashback that I got. I thought, I'm just, tweeting in favor of her, and I know that she supports equality and everything that she represents. I was just tweeting in favor of her. And then I got these horrible, horrible tweets. And if you haven't been harassed online, you're lucky, because it is so horrible, and sometimes you're not prepared. When you read about it, it's so much different when you actually go through it. And I was not prepared for all of this. I think within those 24 hours, I learned more about mental strength, calmness, and perseverity than I had in my real life encounters. Because when you're behind a phone or a laptop screen, it is so easy to hide and just say vicious things and relentlessly be really, really horrible with your words. You can impact people. The worst things about these clickbaity articles and titles is that a lot of people are just tempted to just share without even reading the context. People don't want to put in research into what it is that's being said. They don't want to fact check. What they want to do is, oh, that looks interesting, we should share it. And the thing is, we all have opinions, and we're in an age where we want to share our opinions. We don't want to feel enforced. And the problem with that is that a lot of times, if your information's not right, it can impact people you don't even know. People were sharing and retweeting all these clickbaity articles that a lot of these women have faced in the wrong contexts and with horrible things. And that's how I realized just how important being supportive to someone who's going through such harassment online can be. So it all fell down to 3 things. And the first was, make sure you know the context of things, you put your research, and I know it takes time and not everyone wants to do it, but if you don't want to put in the time into looking into what it is you're posting or resharing, don't reshare it. It can impact people you don't even know in the worst ways possible. The second thing, clickbaity titles. Be aware of them. Know they're written that way for a reason. After working in the marketing department, I realized how there's a reason people want to evoke emotions. And they do that very easily, and people will easily reshare things. And they want to, and most people, including me, would want to share something that strengthens my own opinions and makes me feel like what I'm saying is right. This is totally supporting what I stand up for and what I want to think about, and I want to share it with my online community. And so it goes on and on and on. So the next time before you reshare something, make sure you know what it is. I'm doing my part. I hope you do yours. Thank you.